Welcome back to the Perfect Balance Strat class. The intellectual battlefield as we here with Bingy,
Greetings.
Okavongo,
Yeah, like,
Brother Dulani, and I Yaga.
rise
Big
up,
up
rise up.
Dada and Vacation. Yeah, man, just go and do the do.
It's time for that.
Yes, I do the right. Yeah, man, in this series today, we want to look and a little thing we are going in a North Africa and look at the wider implication of this for the rest of Africa and the Afrobean. So Algeria's new law declares French colonial rule a crime, seeking accountability and reparations for the colonial past. On Wednesday, lawmakers stood in the chamber, draping scarves, bearing the national colors, chanting "Long live Algeria" as they approve the bill. The parliament unanimously passed legislation declaring France's colonization of the country a crime. Parliament also formally demanded an apology and reparations from Paris in a move that seeks to redress attempts to sweep the issue aside. The law assigns France legal responsibility for its colonial past in Algeria and the tragedies it caused, placing historical accountability at the center of the state's legal framework. While analysts say the law carries no enforceable international weight, its political impact is significant, signaling a rupture in how Algeria engages France over colonial memory. Yes, I. So these are the first step that they have taken in the issue. And my understanding is that this also have a wider implication for the rest of Francophone countries because they are seeking to include the other Francophone countries to join them in this criminal activity and atrocity that France has committed. And also, they are looking to encapsulate the entire Africa and the Afrobean to join in this initiative so that the British can be sued, the Belgian, the German, the Portuguese, and all the colonizers can be sued, whether it is symbolic or legally binding, but it means a lot to I and I as Pan-Africanists, and we want to look at the wider implication of this. What do I them think about this issue?
I agree. I agree with the implications in a far wider implication than just in Algeria. Because if Algeria can show that it can be done, others will be following suit. And I think it's a very bold move and a very important move. And we should discuss it further.
Yes, sir. Bingy.
Yeah, for me, as you know, a lot of people know it's a very complex thing, right? Especially when you were colonized for over 132 years of colonization, oppression, suppression. So that relationship never was mended. But the Algerians have the right to sue for reparations, right? Because they too are people who were enslaved in that way to speak, the oppressed. So yeah, I think they should push forward. I think those of us who understand the relationship that the colonizers have had with the colonized, realize that we are all in the same boat and is only in solidarity it works. Only when you're unified on a thinking it works. So yeah, I agree with it, and I think this is a good move. Is a good move, and we want to see more of this happening, right? And I think if Yaga, I heard you speak. They say they're looking for the support of all the African diaspora, right? So let's support them in their move.
Yes, sir. Okabongo.
Yes, I. It's a step in the right direction.
Mhm.
Love it. And hope other colonies, former colonies of France follow the footstep of Algeria. Because we need to get past this colonization. All the colonizers they need to apologize, and they need to repair the damages that were done. You know what I mean? We can't stop until till that is being done. Right. So Algeria, you know what I mean, was been a town in France. A
Mm.
town in France for some while now. You know what I mean? They're making a bold move. A bold move, and I love it. Yes, I.
Yes, I. Yeah, man. We approve the message, you know? We're going to look at some of the things that took place when Algeria was under the French rule and look at the black story that is involved in it. So France rule brutally ruled Algeria from 1830 to 1962 through a system marked by torture, enforced disappearances, massacres, economic exploitation, mass analyzing, and large scale deportations and marginalization of the country's indigenous Muslim population. The War of Independence between 1954 and 1962 alone left deep scars. Algeria put this death toll at 1.5 million people.
Mm.
On the other hand, President Emmanuel Macron has previously described the colonization of Algeria as a crime against humanity, but has consistently refused to issue a formal apology. He reiterated that position in 2023, saying it's not up to me to ask for forgiveness. And the Europeans have been silent on the matter. They refuse to comment on the issue because they are saying that it's a legal matter in another country. So they've declined to comment on that issue. So we can see the history of France and some of the atrocities and injustice that they have committed over this period of time. And in this dispensation here, we can have the president is asking that we move on from this issue. And it's not up to him, the head of state, to ask for forgiveness. What do I them think about this?
I think go on, Bingy.
No, no, go ahead, brother Dulang.
No, I think it is hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy, straight, straight in terms of they never want to acknowledge the crime that they have committed against other people, but they are quick to acknowledge crime done against them in any form, any shape, and they give lip service to this thing called human rights and justice and international justice. But it's only lip service and it's only relevant when it's to do with European people, never with non-European people. You know, see it. And what I particularly like about this move by Algeria is that it was done by the Algerian people. Them. We have to
Mm-hmm.
take agency and declare it to be an illegal, criminal, inhumane act, enslavement and colonization. And I'm calling on the CARICOM and the African Union to do likewise. They need to
Well,
declare it. You don't need permission to declare these things to be inhumane and a criminal. You know, see, the entire American system is a criminal enterprise from its foundation till today, and along with the whole Western world. It's a criminal, it's a global conspiracy of criminality. You know, see, so yeah, I just want to land there, my brother, you know?
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Lani, I want to say something as you say CARICOM, right? And we mentioning CARICOM, we have to remember that the CARICOM Reparations Committee and the African Union have been working together on a 10-point plan. We want to say that as well, right?
Yes, we have to
So
put
we
that on the
know
ring. They
they've been
are.
working on a plan, outline the specific areas and present it for reparations as
Yes,
well.
I mean,
So
yeah,
yeah,
they are very
they are.
experienced and very
Hmm.
advanced in their reparation struggle.
Yes, movement.
But
Yes,
but but but
absolutely.
but it is around petitioning and engaging with the European powers, not taking a unilateral position and declare it themselves. And I think that
Yeah,
that is the
or
difference
making it
in this
law.
case.
Right.
Yes, declare it as an act of parliament that
Hmm.
enslavement and colonization was a crime against humanity and a
Of
crime
course.
against like Jamaican
African.
parliament need to do it. Trinidad, Barbados, every parliament needs to declare it illegal and a criminal act as a starting block, and then we can negotiate from this one. But I just wanted to acknowledge that what you're saying is correct. CARICOM
Hmm.
and AU, they are in
Yeah.
advanced maneuvering
But
and
we
the issue of
advance, yeah.
preparation. Yeah, very advanced stage. Yes.
Any
Mm.
anytime I hear about France and Africa, it kind of give me a cringe because
Right.
in the West, we normally talk about England because England was the main power back this side. But see, France, even when they say colonization was ended,
They were still
France never
colonizing.
leave Africa. France
Never.
has been a turn on the continent of Africa for African people and the African countries, right? Up to today, up to this day. So it's any move against France on the continent, I agree with it and support it.
Absolutely.
France is a leech on Africa. That's what they do. They leech on Africa. The whole the whole countries build and you know what I mean, taking things from Africa, suppressing African countries. You know what I mean? And that's why they're fighting so
Hmm.
hard to holding on for dear life because without Africa, France is really nothing. Without
True.
Africa,
The
France is
former
nothing.
president, the former president Sarkozy of France has said that himself that without Africa, France would be nothing.
But if you put it into the former capitalism, France extract the most money or wealth out of Africa yearly,
Yeah.
yearly than anybody else still now, till presently. France extracts the most money because if you
France
look at a
have the
country,
audacity, of imposing colonial tax on
yeah,
African countries. That was about what,
yeah,
14 African
even today.
countries? Even to this very day, listen, that's disrespect.
Hmm.
That's what I say. We need to declare all that illegal in a free parliament and done away with
Hmm.
that. And tear up everything as a start and fresh.
Uh, uh,
One correction to the former president who said that it was Jacques Chirac, the French president between 1995
Correct.
and 2007. He said that France would have been a third world country if it wasn't for Africa. That's his
Africa.
exact statement there.
and it need to be because is African country then just need to unite and because it's so evident everyone can see it, right? I don't know why these African governments just hang on to France. Well, you know why? Because France put a little money in them pocket, but and them can't see the bigger picture that, you know what I mean? The money that France is putting in their pocket, they actually stole it from them. They
Of
can't see
course.
that. They only see the short term where the money in them
Yeah.
pocket right now.
And think about this, right? France had 80 colonies, right? 80, 80. Imagine a little country like France having 80 colonies.
Yeah. And they still have a lot right now. Right now, I think
They
they
still
have the
Yeah,
have a
most.
they
lot.
I think
still
they still
have
have
a
the
lot.
most right now in the world right now.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
France
Me prefer
supposedly,
what
Britain had the most, right?
I'm talking
yes.
Historically.
right now, right
Right
now.
now, yeah, France
Yeah,
is still,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I would think. Yeah.
Me we forward some more in the article and look at the tension that exists between Algeria and France.
Yes, sir.
Tensions have been high for months since Paris recognized Morocco's autonomy plan for resolving the Western Sahara conflict in
Mhm.
July 2024. Western Sahara has witnessed armed rebellion since it was annexed by Morocco after the colonial power Spain left the territory in 1975. We forget to mention Spain, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are also a colonizer and they were once in
I'm
Jamaica
Portuguese.
before.
I'm Portuguese too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, before the
Portugal.
British came to Jamaica, they were there. Algeria supports the Sahrawi people right for self-determination in Western Sahara and backs the Polisario Front, which rejects Morocco's autonomy and proposal. In April, the tensions escalated in a critical crisis after Algeria diplomat was arrested along with two Algerian nationals in Paris. The diplomatic crisis came barely a week after Morocco and Algeria's president Tebboune expressed their commitment to revive dialogue to solve the issue. So we can see that France is agitating the situation by taking a unilateral decision to recognize Morocco's right to the Western Sahara, even though they know this is a red line to cross between Morocco and Algeria and France.
Yes, I. And this is what these colonizers always do. They pit African countries or countries against each other. Divide and rule, they call it.
Neighbors against each other,
Yeah, they divide
tribes
and rule. So
against
you
each
can't
other,
come
peoples
together.
against each other.
You can't come together to focus on the main enemy. I think America, United States also recognize West Sahara, because you know them always in a pot together. I
Mm.
think, but that is because Morocco ended up recognizing Israel as a Muslim
So
country.
so them
So
them give back the strength. So
them give
it is geopolitical.
it's
It's getting
geopolitical.
geopolitical
But
now.
Algeria, I think their issue with Morocco is the indigenous people of West Sahara. I can't remember the name right now. So I
Yeah,
take the
man, the
name for me.
Sharari people, the Sharari people.
No, that's a country. I
Okay.
think Berber. I think Berber, something like that.
The Berber is the original people, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. It's a Berber. The
But the
Berbers are the
original people
original
from the
people in
area,
Algeria.
Yeah,
right? So because of the
yeah.
war, majority of them moved to
Hmm.
Algeria. So most of them is living in Algeria right now as refugee. You know what I mean? So I guess Algeria would want them get back them land so them can leave Algeria. So that's one of
Hmm.
the issue where Algeria have with Morocco because most of those people living in Algeria as refugee for years now. Right. So them
Hmm.
so
Because
and
Algeria support them, so more than
so
likely they would
yeah.
have want them to fall on Algeria said speed.
I don't think them they want to fall on Algeria and the land, because the land by the UN, I think UN, they declared that the Algeria and Mauritania has no jurisdiction over the land. Because Spain wanted to give that land to Mauritania and Morocco, when them free
Okay.
up, free it up. So they want, but they had no jurisdiction because it wasn't their land. It was just a people by themselves. Them people, they are
Yeah.
indigenous people there for a while. This is
Mhm.
one more instance where indigenous people are feel the hands of the oppressor. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
yeah,
I
Yeah.
think it.
Yeah, well, I think it's always complex when you look at these countries and the relationships they've had over the years, whether it's through participation with through the colonizers or what they go through internally. It's complex, and we got to remember these countries too have been in conflict, right? Morocco and Algeria has been in conflict. Like they have had what they had the war in 1975, for instance, right? So we have to remember there's a lot of strain. There's have been a lot of strain on that relationship, and I don't know how those things are going to really play out in the future. We because we've been looking at these countries or the conflicts that they have amongst each other just based on a somebody who's not even from your area, the colonizer, most of the times dividing you among simple ideological differences, and you buy into that. Then you buy into that mentality. Hey, listen, forget your brother because this is the best interest for you. But yet you don't have to do that, because the reason they're telling you to forget your brother is because they see a benefit in it for themselves. So they pit you against each other all the time. I think these things we're gonna see keep on happening, keep on playing out throughout history. I don't think, like we discussing this now, like there's a resolution. But if history is true and it says that these things, history repeats itself, for example, then we know men are not learning. They're not becoming wiser. Humanity is not becoming better. History is not supposed to repeat itself in that sense, then, when we still stuck seeing the same thing go over and over and over. What happens? Humanity, I think this stuff that we're talking about right now, these kind of conflicts, these relationships, I don't know how much better it's going to get in the future. That's the problem. I think these kind of things are going to keep on happening throughout history, brother.
But I mean, even the Europeans fight among themselves now, because two of the biggest war that was fought is World War I and World War II.
Two. Yeah.
So we know they are arch enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, they work and see eye to eye on the issues that are common and benefit them both. So we don't see why African people and other peoples in the diaspora can't see that, even though you have some differences with your brother, your neighbor,
Because they're not in control of their situation. E- Other people are.
people
The
are
Europeans
antagonize the
have nobody
situation.
else in control of their situation. They decide and they agree. But Africans are not in control of their situation. So that is why. That is precisely why. And until that happens, and I don't know when that is going to be in the future, we're going to keep on seeing these things happen throughout the continent. This is what we're going to be witnesses to for generations, because we don't have security to have influence or become totally autonomous, even though we want to believe it. We don't have that. So now we got to figure out how do we build on that, I guess, communal level or traditional level or tribal level, that we can advance as our in our societies, become productive, keep our values. That's how we have to move. That's how the rise is. It slowly happens, right? So you start, micrograding how you build community structure, because this world that we live in today is not for us. Not in the sense that we're gonna see what we want as justice. We're not gonna see that. We want it. We fight for it because we have to. But seeing it and you being satisfied with what you see, it's gonna take a time, man. I think this stuff here, it starts microly. The resolution is right where we are then. The resolution is exactly what we're doing this morning. Two or three are gathered. Four, five. You know, the guy said the other day, oh, you only have 9 listeners or viewers. That's 9. That's where you start. And that's the whole point. This is how you do it. So you could rise and you get it, you get that understanding. So we could come together and overcome this nonsense that we've been buying into for centuries, Roots. And you're talking about leaders of countries, not in our position, men who are supposed to be wise in what they're doing. And yet they still fall short.
Yes,
It's
sir.
dread. It's dread.
We
Yeah,
see.
Leland, welcome back, my you jump off a while ago.
Yeah, yeah, cause the orientation was off again, cause me nah member for landscape the thing,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. You good no? You look
just do
good
it
now,
and
man.
done.
You look good
Yeah,
now.
man. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we see in the Western Sahara because we always like to follow the money wherever we see tension and agitation that is going on because there has to be something bigger and deeper than what we are seeing. So we see in the Western Sahara, they have a significant wealth of mineral resources. And one of the most prominent mineral resource them have around there is phosphate rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most important and economically developed mineral in Western Sahara. And they've got the largest phosphate deposit in the world, which is about a 100-kilometer stretch.
Hmm.
The, the largest phosphate deposit in the world and a long conveyor belt about 100 kilometers carries the ore to the Atlantic coast for export.
Sport.
And you know, phosphorus is a mineral that is very rich and we need it in a lot of things. We need it in
Mhm.
fertilizer. That is one of the main use for it because plants and animals need phosphorus for cell development and growth. So we can cite carefully that this is part of the issue and part of the problem.
Yeah. So you see a piece of land that is mostly desert, and you think like this land has no significant value. Why they fighting over it? Why they fighting over this land that's no trees, no nothing, no water? You know what I mean? Why they fighting over it? But there's something there that is worth fighting for, and in this case is phosphorate. You know what I mean? I think that's what one of Morocco main production
It is the main
main
export.
export, yeah, main
Main
export,
export. And
yeah,
it's easily to extract, right? It's easy to mine as well, right? So
see,
it makes it more valuable to whoever wants that area, what they're fighting for, right? Because it's easy, you're not putting a whole lot like other industries like oil or gas, you're not doing that. So
mm-hmm.
I think that makes it attractive too. But yeah, they're always fighting for something. The point
Gonna
is they
go
always
on, baby,
fighting for somebody else's resources.
Resource.
And
mm-hmm.
when is this gonna stop, right? What I'm saying is think about what's happening in the world today, and how it all ties in. People, the colonizers, their main thing is to take other people's things.
Mhm.
That's their main goal. What you have, I want. So what they're dealing is oppression. They function on oppression. That's what they function on. It's evident, right? You were gonna tell me what I could do with my resources. I don't
Yeah.
need it for me.
The
Like,
people of that region. Yaga, I don't have the research in front of me at the moment, but the Tuareg them is the pass through them region that's where, innit? The Tuaregs.
Tuaregs.
The Tuaregs.
the
They're not
Toreg,
pass through, yeah.
I'm not sure about them.
mm,
Okay, they're not pass through that region there.
I'm not
But we know so the
think so.
Berber.
The
Because
Berber,
you
yeah,
see,
yeah,
yeah, man,
we
Berber.
see, you see Tunisia, Algeria, and even Morocco was the Berbers,
Yeah,
You know
man.
the Berbers, them are back migration of African them. They migrated thousands and thousands of years ago, and then they come back into Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see that they tend to be lighter skinned than the
Mm-hmm.
average Africans.
Mm-hmm.
But they started in Africa, migrated out, and didn't go continue with the journey and come back.
Yeah, man. The
So
Berbers have always been in that section of Africa, man.
yes, they're
Yeah, man.
indigenous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but the problem is when they was giving out, when colonialism was carving out the place, like them always leave out people. Like the Fulani was left out in the
Right,
carving out of
right.
Nigeria.
Right.
The Berbers them were left out in the carve out of North Africa too,
Yes, sir.
and that region.
Mm-hmm.
So they never
Mm-hmm.
really got a state. And Western Sahara now never was given a state. And those people and region and never was given a statehood. We don't even know if those people want to name it Western Sahara, but that big piece of land is there.
Mm-hmm.
But Morocco now, I am suspicious of Moroccan motive because if you see all Moroccans, and I think to a lesser extent Algeria, treat the indigenous people, particularly Africans, who we classify as sub-Saharan African, they have not been nice to the darker skinned Africans in those regions. You know, see
Mm-hmm.
it. And I know Algeria has not been nice either. Even though may applaud this move that they make towards France, they need to apply that same justice towards the indigenous people them and the African them who have been inhabiting that land for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
I think there need to be a thorough investigation of how Moroccan and Algerian have been treating those people in that region. Stealing of land, the abuse that has taken place, the discrimination of those people, and the enslavement of indigenous people under certain criteria. You know, see it. We, there's been a lot of report about those things taking place in those regions.
That seems to be the case in the north of Africa.
A
Yes.
Yes.
lot. A
And
lot.
it is
So
centuries old because it's coming from when the Arabs were in the north and
Mm-hmm.
expansion.
they changed the face of the north.
Yes. So that remnant still exists. So
Mm-hmm.
you have often heard many in the reparation movement call for reparation from North Africa. The Arabs' invasion and enslavement of African people. They had their hands in it. And we need to have an accountability of what they have done. They're trusted that they are committed to our African ancestors as well. So even though they're making that move, I wanted to put that on record. Even though they're making that move towards France, we as an African Union, as African people who have been the victim, we need to also hold the governments of North Africa, Algeria, Morocco, and others, Libya, accountable for the role that they have played in our enslavement as part
Mm-hmm.
of the Islamic or the Arab expansion in that region.
Yeah,
Um,
man, all dumb pressure have to be held
and
accountable.
and it's such a complex issue, because at this moment, politically, Morocco is positioning itself, as a staple in Africa, as the leader of Africa, Them are position themselves as that because because of the whole thing with West Sahara, they had kicked them out of
Mhm.
the African Union,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mhm.
now they have let them back in.
Okay. Right.
And so now them are position themselves as the leader
Major
of,
player.
yeah, like as a major player in Africa. Them are position themselves as that.
Mhm.
So every little thing we see a go on in Africa, you see
Mhm.
it really a Morocco, you see it a go
Yes.
on now
I know that Egypt wanted to play that role at one stage. We kind of see them at
at
try muscle themselves
yeah.
in
But,
and play a
but
leading role.
They were, but because them become too dependent now, so them can't really play that role there again because
Yeah.
them are beg too much and they not
Yes.
stand up on them own feet.
And what fascinates me about Algeria, it is a large territory.
Algeria is the biggest country
And
in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you, I think that
Mhm.
we have conceded. We concede too much territory to that Arab invasion. That's a big piece of real estate that they have gathered. And I look at it all the time. But I say, that's a massive piece,
Yeah.
my brother. We can't ignore
But
that.
I think one of the things is because most of them North African country they took the Sahara. So
Yes.
even though the country look big, most of it is really the Sahara. So like
Desert.
people
Desert,
don't really
desert.
Mm.
live there.
Mm.
People don't really live
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
some part of them because them live most on the coast, but it's a big territory still.
But you have to look for the future now, Kyle. When you look for the
Yeah.
future, them places out
Mhm.
that's how they become
Right.
forestation and all them things there with
Yeah.
technology, with with
Yeah.
agriculture and that. We're gonna do away with those deserts and turn it into oasis in the future. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, man. But I just wanted to give that historical context, and because we're discussing reparation,
Hmm.
and Finno say they will be held accountable as well, and they need to take steps to end the existing discrimination against black people in those countries.
Yes. And personally, I just said the line wants the discrimination stop. And I would just love to see all of them just recognize themselves as African and move
Hmm.
together as one
Yeah.
Africa. Because
Yeah.
they are there, they're not gonna leave.
Hmm.
They're not
Yes.
people from Algeria is not gonna leave. They are there for what?
Yeah.
A 100 years now, a couple of 100 years
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
They have been there for a while now. They're not gonna leave. So we want them to start to recognize themselves as African, and so we can take on the issues of the world
Yeah. Work
as one.
within. Work. Yeah.
Yes,
Work
They
within.
say them are
Yes.
Work
African man,
together.
but them culture is different from
Them a
the
push a
black
Arab
Africans
culture.
but no
because
them, but
them participate economically,
yeah,
and in a sports and other
yeah.
African business, but them still hold on to the Arabic
The Arab
side
League. Arab
of
League.
them
Them see
culture.
themselves
Yeah,
as Arab first before
Yeah.
yeah,
Africa.
yeah,
Hmm.
Them put the
yeah,
Arab before Africa. Yeah,
yeah.
so
So Islam come first for them. I
not
want the
even
people,
not even
them, I
just
want the
Islam, the
viewers,
Arab.
to know so we discuss the fact that Algeria declared France's colonial rule a crime in a new law that was passed by their parliament. So that are the reasoning. So if them have any opinion, any views, just drop them in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we have Brother Dulani, as usual, as our brethren who join from Clear Thinking channel and YouTube as well. Big up Okawongo, big up Bingi. We want to
Yes, sir.
look at some of the uses of phosphorus, since we are talking about phosphorus, because
Mhm.
we are dealing with intelligent viewers and we want to give them the full black story and the tradiings and everything we were talking about, so we left no stone unturned. So phosphorus is essential for building strong bones and teeth, producing cellular energy, which is ATP. And ATP is a very important energy in the body, especially when you are fasting, because the body will break down that ATP, that fat in your body, into ATP. It is responsible for repairing cells and forming DNA and RNA, working with calcium to maintain the muscle and nerve and heart function and helping the kidney to filter waste. And also it is used in a lot of batteries when combined with lithium. So we can see
Okay.
some of the importance and some of the use and why this tension is so tense and it never seems to end.
Mhm.
Hey, it seems ironic, right? Right? When you look on some of these ingredients, where we make something like fertilizer, you see they are packaged and shipped out of Africa, and then they come back as one thing, a packaged fertilizer. Because this is phosphorus is the ingredients for fertilizer. But
Mhm.
a lot of more stuff is packaged and shipped out of Africa, and it come back as the finished
Mhm.
fertilizer.
The refined product.
Yeah.
because we have a
Yeah,
consumer
yeah,
economy.
yeah.
Isn't
You
We
isn't
say,
don't have enough
and one of the biggest
refineries.
problem in Africa
Yeah,
is to get fertilizer.
in
yeah.
speaking of phosphorus, isn't it a substance also found in banana, ripe banana? Commonly, the people use it to help grow other plant. Them take the banana skin and they will put it in the fertilizer and it help to
We have to go look
stimulate
it
it.
up.
And I hear one farmer say that it had the phosphorus in it. So I'm not now one day there's a link there. You know why they put it in fertilizer? Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Because
farmer use it the banana as them phosphorus source.
yeah,
Mm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's needed for cell growth.
Right.
Yeah.
And as
Mm.
the plant is growing, it need more phosphorus and it's good for root development also.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've never look up the science behind it, you know. But that what you're
Yeah,
saying
But
that
man.
makes sense. But I'm a battery, me have to go. Well, I look, I'm looking for the charger.
Yeah, man, they think.
Yeah, man. So we see them thing there and them beneficial, man. And as we are say, most of them thing there, when you put it in the plant, we get them from the plant as well. And
Yeah.
but that is what is causing the issue in the Western Sahara between Algeria, Morocco, and France. So we want the viewers them, if the message resonate with you, just share the video and tell someone about the
And hit the
channel so
like
them
button.
can join the chat class. You know?
Is
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. And I be ask them, anytime we see a little division a go on within a little country, you always can look toward the colonizer. Some colonizer always, or former colonizer always involved. You know what I mean? Somewhere, in some corner. If it's not, if it's not them create the problem before or them creating the problem now. And this was going on now is both ways. It's now and it's before. Because you have Spain from
Hmm.
before and you have France now. You know what I mean? So them
Them never
Hmm.
always,
sees.
yeah man, them, yeah man. Always,
Well,
always.
few set of people, boy, them go around and then capture a whole heap of people land and and people as well. I mean, it is extraordinary how these people have conducted themselves in the last 500 years. You can't even write a movie. You can't even make a movie and say, if this never happened and you was to write a book about this going to happen, you couldn't even imagine. This little country, them little, maybe 10 little country in Europe there on the western coast there. Decide
Mm-hmm.
to them all go around the world or conquer the world. You
Mm-hmm.
know, see, and have half of the world under their footstool. That's amazing.
Yo,
Uh,
parasite, Parasite is a thing, will live off of other organism.
Correct, correct,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
correct.
So you have some dog, more time you see dog with mange, and
Mm-hmm.
the ear fall off of his skin of the dog. A
Mm-hmm.
parasite that cause that. The mange is a parasite.
Yeah,
what,
man. Yeah,
what,
man.
what
Let
are the
me
thing,
hear that.
in a brother land, yeah, so them go around the world and them have the whole hurt under them footstool, And yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
people want to say like, oh, these little small countries was able to do that. You know what I mean? Them so
Yeah.
tiny piece of country, and there wasn't a lot of people neither. You know what I mean? But these men or these countries or tribes were fighting with each other for so long. Them develop this heart of murdering, this heart of
They
stealing,
perfected the
heart
art
of
of
yeah
war
man,
and,
them are doing so long. So
analyzing.
so when them unleash that rod from the world, they have people never see them thing there before.
I tell you, man.
Because
Never
I tell
Africans
you.
were
The,
certainly not living in those kind of conditions where they were
no.
just going out and killing each other on a regular, right?
the
It become
level
a
of
norm.
brutality.
Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah,
lev-
yeah,
the
yeah.
level of brutality just I mean, I know we see an echo of that now in America. We see these men going around as if they are robots, as if they are some kind of heartless um drone. They must go around like I just know how they just can go around and just antagonize people. brutalize people. But we can understand why they can do it because we saw what they did in the enslavement of our ancestors. That same brutality, the heartlessness, the evil and cruelty that they displayed then was unimaginable. And you
Mhm.
can see how man today can be weaponized, can be you can actually instruct man today to go out and carry out those atrocities
It's
today.
called
A
programming.
man would willingly
Yeah,
do it too.
it's called programming. That's what
Listen,
Yeah,
programming is.
man.
when you see
We want to big up
when
the African goddess. We want to
Yeah.
big up the African goddess for the
Sure.
life. And the
Liar.
African goddess has confirmed, Brother Dulani, that the Torres were living in that region as well. They passed through that region as well. So there's
Yeah,
your
man.
confirmation.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Mhm.
man.
yeah, so one of the thing them, right? Well, me that's the yaga. But you see, we look upon groups of people, right? We look upon Africa, and I say, Africans athletic and you know what I mean? Some type of way you look upon the Haitian them and you say, them good with certain technology or whatever,
Mhm.
whatever. And when you look upon Europeans them and what them good at. One thing me sure say them good at is
Mhm.
murdering,
Mhm.
I tell you, brutality.
brutality.
Mhm.
Them
They
very
love
good
war.
at
They love
brutality.
war, man. They
Yeah,
love war.
imagine, but them all of what them do,
Torture.
all of them
Torture.
achievements, all them achievements is rooted in brutality.
Hey, so them have a science
All of
of
it.
torturing. Them have actually perfected a science of torturing.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
they can
man.
capture you and bring you a certain place. They have
You
Mhm.
people
have to
who
talk.
do doctorate thesis on how to extract certain pressure you in certain way to extract certain information from
You
you.
have to speak up, man. You have to
Fast!
speak up. Them have some black site all over, where them take
Yes,
people to,
man.
and
Torturous,
Guantanamo Bay
man.
still there.
Yeah, man,
I
But
study
brother
how,
Dulani,
how,
that
how to do.
psychology you're speaking about is also part of the Willie Lynch syndrome, the psychology itself. That Willie Lynch syndrome
Yes,
represents
and a
that.
lot of that was utilized by France in Algeria as well.
Mm-hmm.
If
yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
study the works of the great Franz Fanon,
Mm-hmm.
The Wretched of the Earth was one of his great works. He documents the brutality and atrocity and the psychological damage that the French carry out in Algeria. He was an
Mm-hmm.
underground African working there, treating the resistance fighters them and assisting them. And he documented the atrocities along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. And this
you
way.
have to know Frans Fanon as a Pan-Africanist, and if you look into his work, you have to check
Yeah.
out his work,
Yeah,
because
man.
Exactly.
Required,
Say
the man
say
required
name
do
again.
reading.
Say
things
name
in his
again.
work.
Franz Fanon. Required reading. Franz Fanon. Wretched of the Earth was one of his great books. Another one is Blackface White Mask. I could be the other way around. See it where in deal with the duality of the African mind trying to survive under white supremacy, colonialism, and imperialism. So yeah, man, he was a profound psychologist.
Yeah, man.
He, he himself
Mm-hmm.
he himself was tortured as well.
See
Mm.
the brutality of Europeans, man. Where them go about brutality. It need to be studied, man.
Unparalleled,
It need to be studied.
unparalleled.
It need to be studied.
Yeah.
As a
Yes,
therapy, that's it.
But I
yes,
Yeah,
think it
man.
man.
has,
Yeah, man. You have to
that's
look
that's
into it, man.
that's a degenerative condition, What they exhibit is a degenerative condition because we now
Mm.
knowing better. We never lived like that because we knew better. We more mature societies. That's the immaturity of the Europeans versus the Africans. That's what's played
Mhm.
out on a daily basis, even today. That bullyism you
I know.
see
I
that
know.
going on, the colonialism is based on that immaturity.
And this thing is not just because remember, even though we as African we defending Africa, it's not just African. Them brutalize them own people.
On
Them brutalize
people, yeah,
African is right
yeah,
across the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Them go with the brutality. You know what I
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean? No,
man.
no,
Yeah, man.
no hen of the herd was spared, you know. No part of the herd was spared.
Or you say no,
Mm,
Hey,
no diplomacy.
mm,
listen, man. They. You see what Okavango is talking about is a serious thing, you know. The brutality that the British was muting out to the French, and the French was muting out to the Germans, and the Germans to the Belgium.
yeah.
It was unparalleled.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
The
Mm-hmm.
slaughtering, the beheading,
Mm-hmm.
the impalement. And then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in England, it come from, impalement,
I saw
You know, see
I
it.
saw come them they have the appetite feet, you know. So when them
Yes,
so
man.
when them unleash that, you know, because them are fight against each other, so them kind of use it with each other, you know.
Yes,
When you unleash that upon some people where the only little fight, them have one little fight for fish for fish ya so or who for hunt ya so, you know what I
yes.
mean? And I just maybe one man that are, you know what I mean, and them work it out. And when you unleash that upon people,
Hmm. And
as we
what make the
say,
work a little,
the
what make the work a
amount
little
of
easier for them?
the
Go on, go
amount
on.
of extinct people we
People.
have, the amount
Indigenous
of exit.
people.
And we as a people, it's not only people them unleash it on.
Mm-hmm.
Because when
Mm-hmm.
them unleash it on birds, them unleash it on
Nature.
animals,
Nature.
everything
Yes.
that lives,
Nature.
For
Uh,
Yeah.
water,
flo-
everything they live there.
everything
oh,
that live, them unleash
fauna
them
and
brutality
flora.
on.
The
But
soil,
again, that's how you know it's a degenerative condition.
Yes.
Because
And
you don't even
you,
know how to live within your own environment.
and you know
Yeah.
what make it easier for them too? Because when they was able to use race, it was easily distinguished between a white and a black. So
Hmm.
it was a wholesale discrimination. So from you have that certain hue, you're gone. Get the join the queue, join the line. You see it.
Yeah,
But
to justify.
when it comes to French and Spanish, you have to kind of like identify who is who, and I can like tread
Yeah,
lightly.
yeah.
But when you see an African, you just know,
You know right away.
right away, say, you're gone, you're a victim.
Yeah,
So
and them
Hmm.
that twisted that became a twisted element tonight, you know?
and
Yeah,
them
man.
created them go and created race, you
Yes,
know, to
yes. Because that was
justify
created
to
in the
justify them.
1800s.
Yeah,
Yes,
man, them
yes.
created to justify them treatment of people who didn't look like
Africans.
them.
Yes, 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 yes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cause that's another good point, you know, when you bring up in Okobongo. That idea of the identification or to recognize the humanity in other people. That's one thing they never really did. They never recognized the humanity in African people and other
Hmm.
indigenous
all
people.
right.
Hmm.
They only
Hmm.
see humanity in themselves, and they
Hmm.
justified a lot of what they did, even religiously, and try to do it with a pseudoscience as well to show that they
they
are
suffer from the
superior.
superiority
But
complex, you know?
but Brother
Complex,
Lani,
yes,
we have to
yes,
say it in hard, I know. The justification come first because them didn't know say a
yes.
human, but them try to justify because them know
Justify.
if we justify it,
Hmm.
them use race.
Then
And
get
then
They
now,
support.
construct, yes,
right.
yes,
Then
yes.
get
They
support.
construct these, yes, and they had even sociologists who was advising them that these people were indeed subhuman and
Yeah,
they,
man. So them
they can be treated this way, and and also the pain factor that you have to hit them very hard, master. You know,
the,
them become mad this day. You know,
the
it's
science
amazing, Rasta.
they for them
But wait,
see them so-called
yeah,
scientists, you know.
but you say they had to know. You think they really know? You think these men really know that they dealing with human beings like
Of
they
course, them know
themselves?
because
They
if they
denying it.
Bingy,
Yeah.
if them didn't
Yeah,
know, then what we holding against them? Because
whole and
we can say
again.
they
No,
were
We
naive
are
then, but we know
we
that
are
them
the
did know.
no,
victims.
no, they were just wicked. Them wicked. Them know
Wicked,
I'm
yeah,
Yeah,
wicked.
wicked,
yeah,
a
Man, wicked,
wickedness.
you know.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
we know, you know. I'm gonna kill you for your thing and kill you for your woman and kill you for your this and that and jealousy. So no, you still have to be held accountable.
But
yeah.
You
my
know, see
point
it.
is,
So him
how can a
justify it
human
with
being?
race.
But how can
And
a
we reject
human
that.
being
Yeah.
actually know that
Hmm.
another human being is not supposed to be treated like that? Like, how? What kind of mind do you have then? How you're saying? Yeah, they're supposed to know, or they do know, right? But
Bingy,
Because
are
them
they
do it to
really
each other. They
look at
do it to
this.
each other.
comprehending?
Look at this recent happening, right? Look at this. The other day, we saw a young lady got shot 3 times, right? We
Right.
look at the video, we saw the video. Everybody, almost everybody on heard see it. And you
Mm-hmm.
have people who tell you that this
Right.
lady weaponized her vehicle and
Right.
drove her vehicle trying to hurt the man in front of her. And you watch it and see something totally different. Like most people watch it and see this lady trying to avoid this human being. So the people them who are pushing this narrative, the say she a try hit the man. Them know, them look at and
They,
know say that is not the case. But guess what?
That
they
is
believe
true.
the
That doesn't
lies.
suit what they want to achieve. It doesn't suit what
They
they
Yeah.
want
believe
to
the
Un,
achieve.
lies.
So
un,
it's the
un,
same thing
yeah.
because
Under any means necessary.
they are trying to use African as slave. Them know, but because that is not what them trying to achieve, them change and say,
Hmm.
you know what I mean, these are not humans, they are below and them just serve
Yeah.
way.
So they,
But
so they,
but
they,
but
they
but
go
here's the
on.
thing, right? And the reason why I say that too, right? In moving for when you look at constitutions or for example, right? And we look at the American Constitution where a slave was considered 2/3 of a man, for example, right?
Mhm.
How 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 do we I mean, how do you put it into perspective that these people, these colonizers, really understand what humanity is? We say they know that they are human beings. I think they don't understand what humanity is. That's my point. My
No,
point,
I
if
understand.
they did understand humanity, they wouldn't be treating anybody the way they treat other ethnic groups on this earth. They don't
I'm
understand
thinking.
humanity.
I understand your sentiment. You're trying to look for the humanity in them. You're trying to
No,
look for
I'm not
the
looking for it. I saying they don't have it.
right, right, exactly,
They don't have
exactly.
it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, the humanity was missing that consciousness wasn't
Yeah,
there, my
it's not
brother. You know,
there.
see, you know what I mean? The brutality, the coolness
Mhm.
that exists in their heart is unparalleled. Because remember, one of the reasons why I have to look into what Okavango say, they did it to their own self. They know that they were human beings, and
Yeah.
they still slaughter their one another.
And that's what I'm saying, Brother Delani.
You know, see?
They were fighting each other for so long.
Yes,
They become cold because they remember, England. Let's look at England, right? England, the what we say, the ethnic
yes,
hierarchy in England, it changed
Scotland,
so much time because you have
yeah,
so much
yeah,
people come in there and kill off them
yes.
one day, and then them one more come in and kill off them one day, and then it
Hmm.
changed so much time. So
Right.
much war going just not that little space there, right? That's these people them just become cold.
Mhm.
Once them
Yeah,
see another
yeah, man.
human, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's unquestionable right now that they were wicked people. They're just wicked. But
Yeah, man.
but we have to keep it scientific to be accurate, and that is that exploitation was the motive, the maximization of profit, the greed was essential to all of this. Economic expansion was essential to all of this, and we have to hold the feet to the fire. They cannot walk away with this vast amount of wealth and think that bygones will be bygones. We will hold them accountable. This wealth must be redistributed and they must be held accountable for their crimes against our African humanity.
And you see, I read a while ago, Brother Delani, right? In them warring against each other, them develop this thing, this disease called greed.
Mm,
And then them take the disease there and them spread it all over the world.
mhm.
Because greed wasn't a disease where in the world before, but before
Yeah,
it left Europe, Them and then
yeah, they
spread
don't.
them disease. And now we see all people walk of life develop this
Mm,
disease not them
yeah,
when name greed, where
and,
them
and
just
and they have
want,
systematized it.
yeah,
They have
them want
systematized it into
you.
capitalism.
I
Mhm.
can't remember who say it, but the person say if a human give a monkey and a banana and him hold on the banana and no one give the other monkey them none, you that's say something wrong. Then I get scientists
Mhm.
and science we study this monkey. because something must be wrong with this monkey. Why him hold on upon the whole bunch of banana and now make another monkey get none? But when him see human being hold on upon everything and people are suffer, people are starve, and now give them none, them call them billionaire and them call them successful. Them call them, you know what I mean? This is a successful person. You know what I mean? You try to emulate them and try to be like them. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. And this
they're creating a
greed.
system,
Greed
but
cause
they're
that.
creating a system now to codify it, to make it an accepted global reality systematically. Economic, we're talking about an economic global system that's preserved the inequality that exists, because between America and Europe, I think it's about 30, 13% of the world population.
Right.
America and Europe combined together, and they have over 90% of the world.
And well.
Well, I think of the wealth in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
that alone is a serious imbalance that the humanity should not tolerate. Me don't know about no God in a heaven and no divine force who can look down on earth and make 13% own more than 90% of the wealth. I don't think that is acceptable. And one man right now probably have more
The
wealth than
world,
half
yes,
the
man.
population of the world, and it's
Yeah, man.
unacceptable.
This is the
Unacceptable.
perfect balance, And when we get into it, we really get into it and we talk the things then where you're not going to hear on your Liam stream media and that people are afraid to say. So if you're tuning in, make sure you're sharing the live. Make sure you like the live. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and help the channel to grow so we can reach a wider target audience and we can have some guests that are experts in our African history and African story. Come on the chat class. We are doing it for free, but when you ask an expert to come in at them field, them no work for
Mhm.
free, even though we out there do it for free, same way, and we can't afford to pay
Yes,
it. So help us to grow. Yeah, man.
yes, for real, for real.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
man, and you see, their order is now the dominant order in the world, because right now China and Russia is the only counterforce to these people right now, and their order, they greed. They want us to think that inequality is natural, exploitation is natural, having a handful of billionaires is natural, and homelessness, poverty is a natural. These things are not natural. Everybody can enjoy the
I
wealth of this earth.
I am predicting that Europe, maybe for the next 100 years, gonna have a hard time because the world is so small now that everybody is realized that Europe is such a little place with not a lot of people and they have so much power and
They
people are
kick
starting
back.
seeing it like bigger countries with more people are saying,
Mm.
wait, you know what I mean? What
How
is
is that
this?
possible?
You
How
know
is
what I
this
You know,
mean?
possible?
easy,
And
brother. That's why
and
them are digging
and
them heels, so
and we
We are-
say we can see like Donald Trump. I think it beginning before Donald Trump is cutting
Mhm,
that near the string from
mhm,
Europe. You know what I mean? So no, them now can depend on America for too long. I think it's only a matter of time before that
mhm,
umbilical cord is cut. You know what I mean? And them are
mhm,
left on them own over there. And people are gonna see them for what them is like. You are not really
mhm,
that powerful, even though you try to, you know what I mean, use destruction and terrorism to get wealth
mhm.
from other people. People are realize now that hey, you're just a bully. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And you're gonna have a rough time. They are gonna have a rough
yes.
time.
The only thing I would say about America and Trump, he can do a lot of damage, but most of the damage he can do can be undone the way the system set up in America. That I'm sure right now, behind the scene, across America political spectrum, there's
Mm.
maneuvering taking place to prepare to
After him.
undermine, yeah, after him. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, starting with the midterm election,
Yes,
that
It's
I
yes.
think there's going to be a serious mobilization, and I think they're going to go flap him big time. So it's going to be like a lame duck for the next after the first 2 years. So we
2 years,
have
yeah,
one
man.
more year of
I believe so
madness,
too. I believe so too.
one more year of madness, and then the second half now you gonna see tempered half because
Yeah.
they can dry me.
But Brother Lani,
But
what is
but
going on now, he's
Hmm.
creating a lot of baby Trump, And that
Yes,
is the big
I
problem,
know, brother
Big
yes.
Trump,
Gladys.
But guess what
I,
now? The people that will learn. Hopefully, the people that will reject this, Cause you see the one called JD Vance, our nasty piece of mess that
mm,
You see the one called Marco Rubio, our nasty piece of mess that Them boy they twisted,
mm,
Them boy they not normal.
Marco
It's a
Rubio is
piece
just
of
he just
work,
power
them.
hungry.
A
Marco
piece
Rubio
of
we
work,
say
man.
Marco Rubio is the type of man who we say anything for power.
Anything.
He say
He's
anything. If somebody come
unprincipled.
now as president, he will be them friend and say the total opposite of what Trump did. Just to be in a power
Hey,
a position.
I tell you, because when
Position
Trump
of
deal
power.
with the man, Trump this the man up big time,
Yeah.
mhm,
I'm see the man turn around and turn Trump lapdog, I say, the man
mhm,
that no principle,
mhm,
no
JD
moral
Vance on the
character.
other hand now is a good second. Like him could
Yes,
never be the first in nothing at all. He mean just a
yes.
good second.
Second.
right.
Yeah, I'm a good second
Mhm,
person. He can't be the leader of nothing.
mhm,
Mm-mm.
Can't be the leader of
So
nothing, man.
hopefully the majority of the people that move sat out. The win when they winning up because them sat out. And I suspect, and I can't prove it, but I believe that they manipulated that election. I believe those tech um, oligarchs,
Mm-hmm.
I think they was behind the scene. And with the power, with the ability to compute on the level that they're computing now, and with I think they was able to do something to us, make it go away, make it be all right.
I would,
You know what I
brother
mean?
Granny, I don't know if, and I'm happy you say it's a belief, right? But because we don't know that to be true. But I don't know
True.
even if Trump becomes a lame duck president 2 years into the end of his term, that the damage or the structure that he has put in place based on design won't be effective. The people who are supposed to benefit, the billionaires who are supposed to become trillionaires. I think whatever they're doing right now, these people are benefiting right away then.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good
like
point.
right
Yes,
now. Like,
those economic benefits will remain, but
yes, yes.
the social disorder, the enforcement, the draconian measures, lots of those things will be pulled back. You know,
Mhm.
see, maybe re-engagement of the international institutions.
Well, I don't know.
Um,
And the reason why I'm saying this is because now we have these people again who's behind all of this, right? Having this immense amount of wealth based on what's going on right now and how they're
mhm,
going to influence everything moving forward, needing no more time to influence
mhm.
every election that happens in this country.
That is true, but you also have to give a little leeway for the people them anger, the people them backlash. You see, I look a reservation for the people them on the ground who
You
pissed
hear
off,
the cry of the people. You have to hear the
the
cry of the
cry of the
people
people
because
them. You
they're the
know,
ones who are
Well,
feeling
the
it, you
one
know?
thing,
yes.
yeah, that I know, like in America, there's the complacency is so high that we don't see what happens in other countries when the people are affected by what's going on, right? We don't
Mhm,
see mass protests for months or weeks. We might see a protest for a day or two. I think the
mhm.
complacency here is so high, even with everything that is happening around people here, it's hard for them to get out of that. Well, I call it
Probably
a
people
sleep. They're
feel
in
that
a
them have too
slumber.
much to lose.
Yeah,
They're in a
because
slumber, brother.
well, most of the people them belly full. You see, they was
Yeah,
doing
they're in a
somewhere
slumber.
where them back against the wall.
And you're
You
hungry.
Yeah.
know, they would be more motivated to go out and vote and get the job done. But
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people was on the sideline in the last election. They'll be
Yeah.
coming out, and that is going to be to the
Midterms is
detriment
really going to tell
of
what
this
happens.
order.
I think people gonna vote against him just because, not
Yeah.
because
Yes.
Me too.
because
Them love the other
because
side.
Democrat is
Yeah,
doing something right, or they want to vote just because. You know what I
It's
exactly.
mean?
a protest vote.
A
Protest vote.
protest vote,
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think most of
man.
that will come, and hopefully some of the what we look forward to. And then you see, let me tell you something. It's double sided too. You know, it's a double sided sword. Because with this man in power, you know, it accelerates the ending of imperialism. You know,
Yes, man.
it making that see it now. You know, but these kind of forces, this kind of pressure is what bust pipe. But and if you remove him back and everything kind of go back to where it was, it kind of delay the ending of capitalism and imperialism. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you understand the matrix there.
Yeah, man. Get where I say
Um,
because it a expose, you
why
know.
we don't want the people to suffer. You know, see, so changes will be welcome. No one wants to be unemployed. No one know what the effects that AI will have on the economy as a whole, and
Mm-hmm.
what's going to be with the people them now get no money now. What's going to happen? So yeah, we but we want the end of imperialism at the same time. So yeah, we have to definitely watch the space. Watch the space. Internationally, as we as African people in the global arena, we want the US military to be constrained and pull back to their barracks. We don't want them out there killing our people. Because their little fantasy game they're playing is detrimental and dangerous to us as people on the ground. You know, see it as smaller countries can be affected by this wild, chaotic, unprincipled megalomaniac in power right now. So we have to be very careful and watch the space.
Yeah, man, this is a perfect balance strat class, you know. So the thing come up, as
Mm,
Okavonga would have said, you know.
Yes, man. Up, up.
so come
You
up.
know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
Up it I go up.
Big
Yeah,
up to
up.
the
You know,
viewers. Big
Come
up to
up,
the
come up, you know?
subscribers. Yeah, man. Catch
Yes.
us next week again, same time, same place, as we reason and look at some of the issues that are current and some that are affecting us as African people. Yes, I.
yes, I.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Rise up. Respect every time, people.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
man. Big up clear thinking, you know, with Brother Delani, you know. Go over there, go check him out on all platforms, you know.
Yeah, man. Clear thinking, you know? And YouTube. Uh, we call it TikTok. We over there too, you know?
TikTok.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And look out for chat class on TikTok too, you know? Coming soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Coming
Coming
soon.
soon. Coming soon.
Live
Yes.
and direct.
Live,
Yeah,
you
man. As a
know?
matter of fact, I was live today making some juice, some roots and some
Yeah.
ginger and some sorrel and some
So yeah, go
seamas
on.
for a little, yeah, for a little client where, you know, order some
Mm.
goodies because them need to feel good on them inside. So yeah, we take care of the inside and we take care of the mental
I don't mind.
also.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
man.
Are the
Yeah,
new
man.
sponsor
Words
at the
of
chat class, you
wisdom.
know, Yaga Roots, you know. I
I
have
do
Yeah,
to
sponsor.
man.
What?
Coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon. The
Yeah,
first
man, that is it,
brand
man.
recognition, eh?
Yes,
Yes, I
I.
am.
Yes, I.
Yeah, man, we give thanks, you know?
Give
We give
thanks, give
thanks.
thanks.
I